Most people believe the body breaks down suddenly. One moment, everything feels normal. The next moment, there's a diagnosis. Scan. A word that changes how time feels. But inside the human body, nothing important happens suddenly. Disease does not appear out of nowhere. It does not arrive uninvited in a single moment. It develops quietly, gradually, often over many years, long before symptoms, long before pain, long before anyone is aware. And the most important thing most people never learn is this. Your body is not passive while this is happening. Right now, at this exact moment, your immune system is performing one of the most complex operations in biology. Trillions of cells are being monitored. Damaged cells are being flagged. Abnormal behavior is being identified. Potential threats are being neutralized. This happens every single day. In fact, research suggests that abnormal or potentially dangerous cells can arise regularly in the body. That does not automatically lead to disease. Because in a healthy internal environment, the immune system recognizes those cells early and removes them quietly. No symptoms. No alarms. No fear. So the real mystery isn't why disease exists. The real mystery is this. Why does the immune system sometimes lose its ability to maintain control? Why does surveillance weaken? Why does inflammation stay switched on? Why does repair slow down? Modern science increasingly points to a simple but powerful answer. The immune system responds to signals. Not just medications, not just infections, not just genetics, but daily signals, chemical signals, metabolic signals, inflammatory signals. And one of the strongest sources of those signals is something we interact with multiple times every day. Food. But not food as calories. Not food as comfort. Not food as tradition. Food as biological information. Before food becomes energy. Before it becomes fat or muscle. Before it becomes blood sugar. It becomes instruction. It communicates directly with immune cells, blood vessels, hormones, metabolic pathways, cellular repair systems. Every bite you eat sends messages that either support order or contribute to chaos. This is why two people can eat similar diets on paper and experience completely different health outcomes. One body receives signals that strengthen immune coordination. The other receives signals that promote confusion and chronic stress. And confusion is dangerous inside biology. Cancer, in particular, does not thrive because it is powerful. It thrives because the environment around it becomes disorganized. An environment where chronic inflammation never resolves. Immune cells are exhausted. Blood vessels are dysfunctional. Oxygen delivery is impaired. Repair systems fall behind damage. In that environment, abnormal cells gain advantages they should never have. But here is the part that changes everything. The body is remarkably responsive when the environment improves. This is not about extreme diets. Not about deprivation. Not about fear-driven eating. This is about strategic nourishment. Supporting the systems that already exist inside you. Research popularized by scientists like Dr. William Li highlights something deeply empowering. The immune system can be supported daily through specific food-based signals. Not to replace medical treatment. Not to make promises. But to strengthen natural defense pathways that already work, when they are supported. This shifts the entire mindset. Instead of asking, what food should I avoid? The better question becomes, what signals does my body need more of? Signals that calm excessive inflammation, improve immune recognition, support healthy blood vessel function, stabilize metabolism, enhance cellular cleanup and repair. Cancer struggles in a body where these systems are strong, not because it's being aggressively attacked, but because it no longer has the conditions it needs to thrive. This is a subtle but powerful distinction. Health is not about fighting your body. It's about working with it. Every day you are either reinforcing resilience or quietly weakening it. And most people never realize how much influence they actually have. Food choices don't need to be dramatic to be effective. They need to be consistent. Quiet changes, repeated daily, create environments where the immune system performs better over time. This is not about instant results. This is about long-term internal alignment. And once you understand this, food stops being confusing. It becomes intentional. It becomes purposeful. It becomes one of the most practical tools you have to support your body's natural defenses, especially as you age. In this video, we're going to explore 5 powerful food-based signals that research shows help support immune balance and resilience. These are not exotic ingredients. They are not trends. They are foods with documented effects on the systems that matter most. By the end, you'll understand why the most effective health strategies often look simple on the surface, but are deeply intelligent underneath. Let's begin with the first signal your immune system listens for. To understand how food supports the body's defenses, we need to shift perspective. The immune system is not a single force. It is a network. A network of cells, signals, pathways, and feedback loops, constantly adjusting to its environment. When this network receives clear, consistent information, it behaves intelligently. When information becomes chaotic, the system loses precision. Food plays a powerful role in determining which of those outcomes occurs. The first signal the immune system responds to is circulation. Every immune cell relies on blood vessels to move through the body, to reach tissue, to identify damage, to remove abnormal cells. If blood vessels are stiff, inflamed, or damaged, immune surveillance slows down. Medical research shows that vascular health directly influences immune efficiency. Certain foods send signals that support the delicate inner lining of blood vessels, known as the endothelium. Leafy greens, deeply colored fruits, berries, and plant-based compounds help maintain flexibility and responsiveness in these vessels. When blood flow improves, immune cells travel more efficiently. Not aggressively. Not excessively. Precisely. The immune system does not need more force. It needs better access. The second signal involves immune training. A common misconception is that a strong immune system should always be active. But constant activation leads to exhaustion and chronic inflammation. A healthy immune system is one that knows when to respond and when to stand down. Certain foods help train immune cells to make that distinction. Mushrooms, fermented foods, and fiber-rich plants contain natural compounds that interact with immune receptors. These compounds help immune cells improve recognition. They sharpen the system's ability to distinguish between healthy tissue and potential threats. This process is subtle but powerful. Instead of overstimulation, these foods encourage balance. Research suggests that trained immune cells respond more efficiently and recover faster after activation. Precision replaces overreaction. The third signal is inflammation resolution. Inflammation is not inherently harmful. It is part of healing. But inflammation becomes dangerous when it never turns off. Chronic inflammation creates an environment where tissue damage accumulates faster than repair. This weakens immune control over time. Certain dietary fats send calming signals that help the immune system resolve inflammation after its job is done. Olive oil, nuts, seeds, and fatty fish provide lipid compounds that influence inflammatory pathways. These fats help immune cells transition from attack mode back to repair mode. This transition is essential. Without it, inflammation lingers, and lingering inflammation disrupts immune coordination. When resolution improves, the body regains rhythm. The fourth signal supports cellular cleanup. Your body is constantly identifying cells that are damaged, dysfunctional, or behaving abnormally. When detected early, these cells are removed through controlled self-destruction. This process protects surrounding tissue. Certain plant foods, particularly cruciferous vegetables, contain sulfur-based compounds that support detoxification enzymes and cellular cleanup pathways. These compounds help cells activate internal safety mechanisms. This is not random destruction. It is maintenance. Removing damaged cells early reduces long-term risk. The fifth signal is metabolic stability. Immune cells require energy to function. But they function best when energy supply is steady, not chaotic. Highly refined foods create rapid spikes and crashes in blood sugar. This metabolic instability places stress on immune cells. Fiber-rich foods, vegetables, legumes, whole grains, slow digestion and stabilize energy availability. This allows immune cells to operate efficiently without emergency signaling. Stable metabolism supports calm vigilance. And calm vigilance is where immune intelligence lives. What's important to understand is that none of these signals work in isolation. They reinforce each other. Improved circulation enhances immune access. Better immune training reduces unnecessary inflammation. Resolved inflammation supports repair. Efficient cleanup reduces long-term stress. Stable metabolism provides the energy foundation for it all. This is not about adding one superfood. It's about shifting the overall message your body receives. Medical research shows that when people consistently consume foods that deliver these signals, measurable changes occur. Markers of inflammation often decline. Vascular function improves. Immune regulation becomes more stable. Not instantly, but predictably. This consistency matters more than intensity. The immune system does not respond to occasional perfection. It responds to reliable patterns. This is why dietary patterns rooted in whole, minimally processed foods repeatedly show better long-term health outcomes. They align with how the immune system evolved to interpret information. Modern diets, by contrast, introduce chemical novelty without biological context. The immune system struggles to interpret these signals. And when interpretation fails, inflammation becomes the default response. But the system is adaptable. When clarity returns, coordination returns. And this brings us to the most important realization of all. You are not forcing your body to do something unnatural. You are restoring conditions it recognizes. Conditions where defense systems cooperate instead of compete. This is how food quietly supports the body's ability to defend itself. Not with drama. Not with promises. But with intelligence. And once these signals are in place, something powerful begins to happen. There comes a moment in life, quiet, often unnoticed, when the relationship between the body and time begins to change. Not suddenly, not dramatically, but subtly. Recovery takes a little longer. Inflammation appears without a clear cause. Energy doesn't return as quickly as it once did. And many people accept a dangerous belief. This is just aging. But biology tells a more precise story. Aging is not simply time passing through the body. Aging is information being interpreted, correctly or incorrectly, by your cells. Your immune system, in particular, is not designed to weaken with age. It is designed to adapt. It carries memory, experience, history, decades of exposures, decades of infections survived, decades of repair performed. After a certain point, the immune system becomes more cautious, more selective, more conservative with energy. This is not failure. It is wisdom. But wisdom requires guidance. Without clear signals, caution turns into confusion. And confusion becomes chronic inflammation. This is where most people lose control, without realizing it. They assume decline is inevitable. But research shows something quietly hopeful. The immune system remains responsive throughout life. It listens. It adjusts. And it responds to daily input more than dramatic intervention. Food becomes critically important here. Not because the body is fragile, but because it is paying closer attention. In younger years, the immune system can tolerate noise, highly processed foods, erratic eating, chemical overload. Recovery is fast. After years pass, tolerance decreases. Precision matters more than power. This is why the same foods that barely affected you at 20 can shape your health profoundly later in life. It's not punishment. It's sensitivity. Medical research increasingly recognizes a phenomenon called inflammaging. A state of low-grade, chronic inflammation that accelerates biological aging. But inflammaging does not appear randomly. It rises in response to signals. Signals of excess. Signals of instability. Signals of confusion. When those signals persist, immune cells remain partially activated, never fully fighting, never fully resting. Exhaustion follows. But when signals change, something remarkable happens. Markers of inflammation begin to decline. Immune cell metabolism improves. Repair mechanisms re-engage. Often within weeks. This is not reversal. It is recalibration. And recalibration is powerful. This is where the meaning of longevity shifts. Longevity is not about extending life at all costs. It is about preserving function, clarity, and resilience for as long as possible. It is about remaining capable. And capable bodies come from intelligent environments. Food, when chosen with intention, becomes one of the most reliable ways to shape that environment. Not through control, but through consistency. Every meal becomes a message, not a verdict, a direction. Every pattern becomes instruction. And when the instructions align with biology, the immune system does something extraordinary. It remembers how to balance. It remembers how to respond without overreacting. It remembers how to protect without damaging. This is not wishful thinking. This is observed biology. People often search for one dramatic change, one supplement, one rule, one forbidden food. But the immune system does not respond to extremes. It responds to patterns. Quiet, repeated signals that say, you are safe. You have resources. You can repair. When those signals arrive consistently, stress decreases at the cellular level. And when cellular stress decreases, health improves upstream. This is why food is not just nourishment. It is communication. And communication shapes identity. You are not someone fighting aging. You are someone guiding adaptation. You are not reacting to decline. You are participating in regulation. This shift, from fear to stewardship, changes everything. Because when you stop fighting your body and start working with it, the body responds differently. It becomes cooperative, efficient, resilient. And perhaps the most powerful realization of all is this: your body wants to protect you. It always has. It has never stopped trying. All it asks for is clarity. And clarity delivered daily becomes strength. This is the quiet science of longevity. Not dramatic, not loud, but deeply effective. And once you understand it, you never see food the same way again.